you're listening to the Lazy Lion Brands podcast, where our number one focus is on the latest in spa, health, aesthetic, and wellness discovery in Georgia and surrounding areas, where we will discuss everything that relates. We hope you can come here to relax while our focus is your self-care. We are your hosts, Brad and Lacey, and we are ready to get your spa day started.
Welcome to Lazy Lion Brands, our first episode. I'm so excited about this. This has been something it's been in the making for about a year and a half. My wife and I, Lacey, have been working on this, and she'll be on later episodes. I wanted to start off this first episode and just let you know why I'm passionate about taking care of ourselves. About a year and a half ago, I developed something called Guillain-Barré. I was losing the ability to walk, and I was losing the ability to talk, and ended up having to go through speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy, and got to know some of the wonderful healthcare professionals that I work with on a day-to-day basis and see what they do. I was already working out, doing physical therapy. I decided to get back in the gym. I started to look at my eating habits and started to look at different ways that I could take care of myself, because if I couldn't take care of myself, I knew I wasn't going to be able to take care of my family. My wife and I were on this health journey and self-care journey together, and we want to show you some of the things that we have learned, and maybe they'll help you to live a more abundant life, a more healthy life, a more thriving life. Because on a day-to-day basis, I see people that aren't thriving. I see people, multiple different diagnoses on multiple medications, and they're just not thriving. They're barely surviving. They don't feel like anybody's listening to them. They feel like they've got some underlying issues and just nobody wants to hear it. And every time they do bring up something different that they're not feeling good about, they just get put on another prescription. So in today's episode, I want to talk about sleep. Sleep is one of the most important things that we can do for ourselves, but it's one of those things that suffers a lot of times because we're so busy with day-to-day life. Whether it be taking care of our kids or whether it be working a job, we're constantly trying to move, constantly trying to go forward, trying to progress. And in that progression, we feel like we need more hours to do those things, whether it be taking our kids to hobbies and extracurricular activities and going here, going there. Where do we suffer? Most of the time, the hours that we want to add to our day, we subtract from our sleep. And that can be very detrimental to our health. 1 in 3 U.S. adults do not get enough sleep. And this was something that was researched, and it's remained consistent from 2013 to 2021. Why is sleep so important? It's our time to refresh. It's our time to heal. It's our time for our brain to heal and our body to heal. And if we don't get the proper sleep, that's not going to happen. We're going to wake up, feel groggy. We're going to feel tired. And it's going to be hard to push through the day. Well, I don't know how many times, because I didn't get enough sleep, I'm brewing the coffee and having to drink several cups of coffee is just get moving in the morning. That's often an issue of lack of sleep. What are some of the ill effects with lack of sleep? Insulin resistance, weight gain, type 2 diabetes, depression, seasonal flu, and cardiovascular disease. Now that we know some of the bad effects for our body, like diabetes, insulin resistance, cardiovascular disease, let's look at some of the benefits of sleep. Some of the benefits of sleep are to reduce stress and risk of depression. It improves memory, makes you more alert. It gives your body time to heal and repair itself, and it can help you lose weight. It also assists with heart health and preventing cancer. What are some things that we can do in order to improve our sleep? One of the things that I have seen, and I've seen many people talk about, is a simple thing called 10-3-2-1-0. And these are some of the things I started to implement in my life so I could get on a more consistent sleep schedule and that I could feel more rested, I could feel more alert, I could give more to my job, I could give more to my family, and just basically thrive throughout my day and have full energy. So when we look at 10 means 10 hours before sleep, no caffeine. Caffeine is a stimulant, so it's going to keep you up. It's going to keep your mind wakeful and maybe think on some of those things that we don't typically think about. But because our mind's fully alert, we start thinking about the next day. What are our tasks? What are the things we got to get done? And it'll cause us to be restless as we go to lay down and go to sleep. Talking about that, having a lot of things on your mind, a great thing to do is journal. If you are a person who's constantly thinking about what they got to do next, what they may have missed throughout the day as you go to lay down to sleep, it's good to have a journal beside you and sit there and take down, maybe even do your to-do list for the next morning. Say, yeah, I may not have completed that during this day. Tomorrow I can add that, put that on my list, and I can begin to write down things that I feel I really need to accomplish and I really need to get done. That way, when you go to lay down, you can just lay your head on the pillow and know that tomorrow will be another day. Tomorrow will be another day where I can finish those things I may have not completed during this previous day. Other thing too is having a journal beside your bed is also good, because I don't know how many times I'm laying in bed and I begin to think about something, and then my mind just begins to dream about different things and thinking on how I can make that one idea and how I can accomplish it. And I don't want to forget this idea. It's a really good idea. This can help me out. So easiest thing to do is just take that journal and start writing down your ideas. And then when you're fresh the next morning, then you can look at that and you can begin to come up with steps to accomplish whatever idea that you had in your mind at that moment. So 3 is no eating 3 hours prior to going to bed. Reason for this is as we lay down to rest, our breathing begins to slow, our heart rate begins to slow, so our body is getting into a restful state. And because it's getting into a restful state, it only has a limited amount of oxygen to use. Our brain needs that oxygen to kind of control the body to work through the healing process throughout the night. One, with the REM sleep, that's when you get most of the healing time for your mind, and you'll go between the different cycles of REM sleep and deep sleep throughout the night. And when you get into the deep sleep, that's when your body begins to heal. But if we've ate 3 hours before bed, then we're going to be stealing that oxygen that our brain needs to go throughout the night healing our body. Instead, it's going to be diverted to digesting our food. And so we won't have a full restful night. We won't have a full good night to recover and heal. The next one is 2, no working 2 hours prior to going to bed. Make your bedroom a sanctuary. Have dark blinds. When you go in there, have it lit lightly dim. Create an atmosphere that your body knows it's the time to go to sleep. Bedroom's not a time to be watching a show. Bedroom's not a time to be scrolling on your phone and doing things like that. It's a time for sleep. It's a time for rest. So when your body walks into that space, you're now prepared to be able to just lay down and get the rest that you need for the night. It is recommended that on average that we get anywhere from 7.5 to 8 hours sleep a night. We got to try to stay within a 30-minute window every night of what time you're going to go to bed. This has been shown to help your body to basically tell what time of the day it is and begin to wind down about an hour before going to bed. Another helpful tip is to get yourself on the same schedule. Many times, I don't know how many times I've done it. I'm sure many of us are guilty of it, but when it comes Saturday or it comes Sunday, this is my time to sleep in. I've had to work all week. I've had to get up, go to work. I've had to get up and get the kids ready. So this is my time. This is my time that I'm going to sleep in. Instead of getting up at 5 or 6 in the morning, I'm going to get up at 10 o'clock because I need that extra sleep. And one of the things that does, though, is it throws off your circadian rhythm. Your body needs that 8 hours of sleep. So having a consistent schedule to where you're going to wake up the same time every morning. And one of the things to do to set it and let your eye and let your mind know that it is time to wake up is first thing in the morning. When you wake up, go downstairs, maybe go outside, take off your shoes, walk in the grass, look out at the horizon, or maybe one of your favorite things is get your cup of coffee, sit down on your deck or on your porch and just look out at the horizon. That way your eye can take in that light, take in the sunlight, and recognize that it's time to get up, it's time to go. It'll release the cortisol, which is our waking chemical, to where we can become more awake and become more alert. So we've got 10, we've got 3, no caffeine before 10 hours before bed, 3, no eating 3 hours before bed, 2, no work before going to bed, and 1 is the toughest one, I think, in today's world. We're constantly going. We've got our phone and able to go on all the social media platforms, and we're just wanting to see what's going on. The kids are finally laid down to bed, and we're sitting there and we're scrolling on that, or we're going to watch our favorite show, and maybe we're tired. Many of us have a TV in our bedroom, and so we're going to watch TV, and then we're going to just drift off sleep. Well, the problem with that is the light that we get from our computers, get from our iPads, get from our phones, get from the TV makes our bodies think that it's noontime. It's the middle of the day. It's time to be awake. And so instead of releasing melatonin and the things that we need to get off to sleep, our body starts releasing cortisol again, which keeps us awake. So if you're one of those that are tossing and turning, just can't find that comfortable slot, can't get your mind quieted and things like that, this is one of the things that you may want to really work on. So electronics 1 hour prior to going to bed. A helpful thing to do is to read a book, something that you would just enjoy. Don't make it something that you're reading for work. Make it just something that you can just read, that you can enjoy, and you can just relax. Maybe it's a book. Maybe it's reading the Bible before bed. I know many times when I read the Bible, then I can be at peace. I know that as I go to lay down, I've got somebody else looking out for me. I can rest. I can release my anxiety that I may have about issues that have gone on during the day. Read my Bible and then pray before I go to bed and release it and give all my issues and all my cares to a God who loves me and is looking out for me. The next one, it's 10, 3, 2, 1, 0, is don't hit the snooze alarm. Because if we hit the snooze alarm, then we put ourselves back into that deep sleep, and then it becomes harder to wake up from that deep sleep. We end up feeling groggy throughout the day. We're not really gaining any rest with it. Don't hit the snooze alarm. Whenever your alarm goes off, go ahead, get up, do your routine. And that's the main thing. You need to start a routine, and that routine will just become part of your day, and you can take that routine wherever you go. If you're on travel, you're traveling for business, or you're traveling for pleasure, you keep that routine. That way you get the nice restful sleep that you need, whether you're on business or whether you're on vacation. Some of the other things that can help, one of the things that I thought was very interesting and I learned recently, a lot of people take Valium and sleep medicines, and these sleep medicines actually inhibit the brain from being able to do what it was created to do, and that is to control the body at night and to allow the brain to heal and allow the body to heal. But what ends up happening is our brain, when we're at sleep, is telling our body if it has enough oxygen. Sometimes it needs to get us from that deep sleep, get us to a little light sleep in order to increase our breathing, in order to get the oxygen that it needs, in order to continue the process of healing, the healing of our brain and the healing of our body. Sleep medicines, they'll basically shut down your brain from being able to do that. So instead of being in a nice restful sleep, we end up being in hypoxia for about 6 hours out of the night. And so that's why we wake up, even though we've slept, we're still groggy, we're still tired, and we're still not feeling well rested. So some of the things that you can take is magnesium glycinate is one that can help to cause your body to relax, help to cause your mind to relax. L-thiamine is another one is good that you can use to help you to rest and help you asleep. Chamomile tea is another natural thing that you can use that will help your mind to calm down, just help your body to that state of rest. And then, of course, melatonin is another good natural that you can take to just allow your body to rest. And none of these mask your brain from being able to do what it was created to do, and that is to allow healing for our brain and our body. Some other things that you can do is to be able to control your breathing. There's been shown that doing box breathing can help you to slowly get off to sleep. So when you first go to lay down, inhale for 4 seconds, taking a deep breath and then holding it, followed by 4 seconds of holding, and then followed by 4 seconds of exhaling, and then repeat, kind of like you're tracing a box. And this here will cause you to be able to just slowly drift off to sleep. Some other things that you can do is you want to have a good mattress. You want to have a good pillow. You want to make this the most important part of your day. So spend a little bit extra on a good mattress. Spend a little bit extra on good pillows. Another thing is you also want to have your room to a cool temperature. It's been shown the best sleep happens from about 62 degrees to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So having your room nice and cool, having sheets that are temperature controlled sheets are big time, because if you have sheets that are too warm, then you're not going to be able to get that sleep. You're going to be restless in your sleep. You're going to be tossing and turning because you just can't get comfortable. You can't get to that nice warm temperature. And if you maybe are a person who is cold when they go to sleep, then using a weighted blanket helps a lot. You can be able to get your warmth the way that you want it, but not only that, a nice weighted blanket helps us to release anxiety. It helps us to feel safe and secure. So using that a lot of times can help to benefit you in your sleeping. Some other things to help is you don't want your room to be brightly lit. Maybe have dimming bulbs that you can do to where when you walk in, it's just a nice dim light. That way your body feels like the sun setting, it's time to sleep. One thing that also helps, and I tend to do that at least 3 days a week, I'm trying to add another 2 days, is exercise. Once you've exercised your muscles, by the end of the day, not only will your mind be tired, but your body will be tired. It'll allow you to be able to get off to sleep nice and easily and get that good restful sleep that we all need, not just to get through the day, but to thrive in our day, to have our mind be sharp, have our muscles not be tired and sore. So we need that good sleep, and exercising on a regular basis helps that. So other things that can help too is having a fan in your room, something just to have some white noise that can shut out any other noise around us. That can help us be able to relax our mind, be able to relax our bodies to be able to go to sleep. I've been starting to use this, and I've noticed my sleep patterns were very erratic. One night I'm going to bed at 9 because I'm just utterly exhausted. Other nights I'm wanting to stay up because I want to watch my favorite show. I want some me time. I'm going to bed 10, 10:30, 11, or I'm sitting there thinking about something the next day that I need to be doing, or a thought that I want to work on, or a book I want to read. What suffers the most? Our sleep does. Where do we subtract the hours? Hey, I need to get this done, so I'm going to wake up earlier. I'm going to get up at 4. I'm going to get up at this time and try to be able to do things because I got to go to work and I want to work on some extra things outside of work. So either losing sleep on the back end, or I'm losing sleep on the front end. I'm maybe getting 6 hours of sleep, sometimes only 4 hours sleep. And I was noticing I wasn't well rested. But one of the things that I've took to doing is I'll put my daughter to bed about 8 or 8:30, and when I put her to bed, that's my 30 minutes to start winding down.